to another broadcast from swug.org. Your information technology answers are here.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephen Wynkoop, and welcome to another edition of Swug TV. Today we're back with Laura Rose talking about all the things that you care about for your professional life and sometimes some other things as well. Welcome back to the show, Laura.
Thanks, Stephen.
Well, so today we wanted to talk about performance reviews, which is just everybody's favorite topic. How do you better prepare for that and participate in that process, and what kind of tips do you have there?
Yeah, performance reviews are a really sticky situation. Like you said, it's everybody's favorite topic. And because we have anxiety about it, we actually put it off. And that's the one thing I want to recommend people not to put off. Continually think about your performance review, even in the beginning of the year. So you don't want to wait until you're being called into the office to start thinking about it. So some of the tips that we have, some corporations have what they call a PBC. Have you heard about that, Steve?
I have not.
A PBC is what they call a personal business commitment plan, and that's in where the employee and the employer or manager will sit down and write down all the expectations for the following year. If you want to get an above average rating, these are the things that you need to accomplish in technology, in the projects, in personal development. So you outline everything that you expect to be accomplished by the end of the year. And if you accomplish all of them, then there's an agreement that you will get an average review or above. If you go above the call, then you'll get an above average review. So that sounds like a pretty empowering plan if you and your manager agree on that.
Sure does, and you'd know exactly what to expect and what to work towards. From a management standpoint, how difficult is it to put that kind of a plan together?
Be assured you're not nervous about the meeting. The next part of that, though, is that we actually need to continually update that plan because, okay, maybe I'm using a year January to December. Most performance reviews aren't on that January to December. They may be October to October or whatever. But in January, you make up these plans, and then come March, a new marching order comes, right? The project that you were working on is no longer high profile. The new next generation pops up, and now you're on that project plan. Well, that's why you need to continually reevaluate your PBC and sit down with your manager on a quarterly basis and say, are these still my marching orders? Because you can't, if you come in December and you're working on totally different projects, then you don't really have a leg to stand on to say, hey, I really deserve above average performance review. So that's another thing is I know we don't like to look at it, but take the initiative to do quarterly performance reviews with your managers. Make sure you're still on the same page.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. And I think that if you talk about driving the process a little bit, if you can help pick things that are objectives that span projects as well as let's get this project done well. So if you can kind of think in both terms and drive the goals of your position for the next year, I think that could help a lot.
Exactly, and I want to encourage people to include their personal development plan in their PBCs and have your manager be a co-creator or a collaborator on these are my career goals. This is what I want in my career. And then if he or she knows, then projects that pop up that support those goals, he's more likely to bring them to your attention.
Wow, yeah, very good stuff, very good stuff. A little more than we can cover in about 3 or 4 minutes here on the show, huh? I know you have a workshop on this as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
I actually have a 3-hour workshop on how to take more control over your performance review process, and it's about half and half, about 75 minutes on the content, and then we actually go through the exercise of writing your own PBC, of creating your personal development plan, of coming up with one-on-one questions that you really want to cover during both your quarterly review with your manager as well as frequent one-on-one meetings with your manager. So those tools are really, really helpful when you come face-to-face with your manager to talk about these difficult conversations. These are difficult issues, especially if you don't know where you stand in your performance rating.
Yeah, very true, very true. How do people find out more about your workshop?
Well, they can go to my website at www.lauraleerose.com, or they can completely go to Eventbrite. I think Josh will put the Eventbrite registration button on our video if that would be possible.
Cool, very good, very good. Well, thanks a lot. We'll follow up with this and ask you some more questions. I got all sorts of questions on this, so I look forward to the next show.
Thank you.
Thank you.